For this video, I'm going to go over setting up the Wood-Mizer LT35 bandsaw mill. There are several steps that one has to go through in order to be able to get to sawing logs, and I'm going to go over each of those steps with you today. One of the first things that I need to do is to get it level into a position where you can stage the logs easier to get them up on the mill. And where I have this right now is not that great. So I am going to move it back a little bit and then level it up. So the first thing you want to do is to make sure it's level. And this is clearly not level. So I need to pick up this side, the right side, quite a lot actually. So I have a chunk of wood I'm going to run over here, and that should get it started anyways. So I'll just put this under here, and this one here. We'll just drive up on it. See, it's pretty darn level that way, and pretty darn level that way. Could be a little better up front, but it's really close. And I think when I bring the head up here, it'll actually level it out some more. So get this all tore apart. So we have the mill level now, front to back, side to side. I'm gonna have to put something underneath the log loader because we're too high off the ground here, but it's not a big deal. I guess a couple 4x4s will take care of that. So the first thing I normally do is we get the head to that end down there. So there are a few things that need to take place in order to do that. One of them is pick the head up. But before we pick the head up, we have to make sure that we unhook this chain that comes with it. Always make sure you do that. So when you're going to go move the sawmill, always make sure it's completely put away, I guess you could say, ready to move. So that would include bringing the head to the rear, hooking up that chain into the hole, taking the log or the debarker and securing it, and securing the head into the pin on that side over there. So the head, when you move it, it goes down into that pin right there, and we have to make sure that it's up and out of that before we try to move it. We're not going to go too far with it anyway because we have all this going here. So also what we need to do is make sure that all of our stuff is out from the rail here. So this is a handy place to lay stuff when you're moving it. Not so handy when you're running it. My board. Okay, so now in order to move everything, I'm going to put it on auxiliary and let it figure it's all out. It has to do its thing here. It's got it all ready. Now I just pick it up using this here. We have to pick it up high enough to clear everything here, and it has the, I guess, the blade tensioner hanging down, so we have to make sure it clears that as well. So I just pick it all the way up, all the way to 31 inches. Right there. And then we just move it on back, make sure everything's clear, and bring her back. Wind up right under here. Here in a moment, I think. Go back down here before we forget. This little pin here unhooks, put it down, and put the pin back in. That way it's out of the way, because it'll be sticking up and it'll be whack it with your, well, I want to whack it. Now it's time to lower the log loader. Kind of get it started here, because it's not heavy, but it's heavy enough to cause you problems. Some 4x4s under here. Right. Now we have the log turner ready. Okay. Back down. So we're going to load ourselves a log at some point here. And you can see why I put the 4x4s underneath the log turner, because they would be up in the air, and that's definitely not good for it. Put a lot of strain on all of this if it was hanging down, so it's just better to do it this way. It works well. So we basically have it set up. The only thing left actually to do is to free up the debarker, and that's just, you know, take this pin right here out and put it in here. Now the debarker is ready as well. So that's it. The Wood-Mizer LT35 all set up. Well, almost. We have to bring this down as well. The exhaust port for the sawdust. There. Now we're set up.